Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel once again. Now for today's topic, I'm sure you can kind of guess what I'm going to be talking about, and that is the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 6 review. My god, I do not know where to fucking start here, because all I can say is how amazing this show has been over the course of its run, the course of its 6 episodes. I'm sure you guys are just as excited, about what's happened in the show over the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks as it's gone. Had a chat with my friend Sharon this morning, so that we kind of went through a lot of the points today, but I'm definitely going to be bringing them up right now as part of my review. Listen, of all this, I don't know how to... Listen, the show just literally started off with a bang, as we know anyways. From the last episode, I remember they didn't show us what the suit was, but by the time this started, just showing how the shots were done and so on and so forth, it seems obviously Sam had already put it on. They had gone into the building to sort out what had happened in the last episode. Obviously the flag smashers had infiltrated the building that they were going to take over to get the people that they needed. And then what do you see? You see Sam come through the window with the shields, with the new suit, comic accurate suit, mind you, and it looks absolutely astonishing. It looks amazing. It's down to the detail. The funny thing about this suit is just that not only do I think it's the best suit in the MCU, or the best cap suit in the whole MCU, it's a suit that's definitely just designed for Sam. It's like you couldn't see Bucky wearing it if he was to become Cap. You couldn't even see Steve Rogers wearing it, and you definitely wouldn't see John Walker wearing it. This suit definitely fitted him, and it's the first thing that had to be noticed. And it's obviously the first thing that Marvel's pretty much got right with him as well. Like, I don't know what more to say about the suit except that it just looked incredible right down to the finest detail. In that scene anyway, we see what the flag smashers were trying to do to get all the people out, because Carly needed to make her point by getting these people as hostages. But in the same breath, we saw the Leaper, what's his name? Bartrock the Leaper come out in it. Obviously he wanted to kill Falcon. Very interesting scene. It's a shame that obviously with all the hype that was leading up to the rematch between those two, it didn't really last that long, but it was good to still see a fight scene between them. But I just felt that part was a bit too short. But the choreography of the fight itself, I felt was very good, especially with how Sam was actually using the shield. And I'm sure most of you can agree, like the way he used his foot to pick up the shield and fly outside the window. I thought that scene, the next scene coming up, was very interesting. Not just interesting, but as a set piece was very, very, I don't know if unique is the word, or just it was an exciting set piece with the way Sam, Falcon, Cap. By the way, I love the way they got him calling himself Captain America. Okay, never mind. That's my role there. What was I saying now? I just got interrupted. The way Sam... the set piece. It was just quite interesting to see the set piece in the whole helicopter scene.
Jesse's one.
Yeah, thanks. Like what was I saying now? Again, for the third time, was that that whole set piece with the helicopter was very well done, actually. Very, very fun to watch. Cap using those proper Falcon wings, how he set up the plan with the woman anyway, I thought was very good. And it was good to see Red Wing. It was good to see Red Wing. He even had 2 smaller Red Wings, which I'll come on to. But how we set up the plan with the woman, and the guy had no idea in the seat, don't know, was amazing. How he used it to create a shield for him and the person he was protecting at the time, was also bloody awesome. And just visually, even when he held the person after rescuing the person, bringing down, I think this was like after the entire scene had come to a close, I thought was good. It was expertly done, and I think that's one of the best things I've really enjoyed about the Falcon and the Soldier, over the course of every episode, you have these kind of almost instantly iconic set pieces, these instant iconic shots, whether it's meant to just look cool or whether it's meant to represent something. They seem to have it in at least one in every episode, and I do really like that kind of attention to detail with them. The next point I'm going to touch on anyway was this. How far was this into it? I'll try to go in order anyway. Still the whole fight scene, I think it is anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, even though I've got a couple notes here. But I thought it was when they obviously... What do you call it? They took... Kylie took the hostages. When she took them off the bridge. That's after the fight they had with, I think, Bucky and Walker had come in it. Obviously, he's looking for his retribution against Kylie. Obviously, because of what happened to his friend Lamar. She did mug it off when she said that she didn't want to kill people that didn't matter. I thought that was a bit rude. That was a bit disrespectful, but she's obviously must be right if that's what it is for her plan, innit? Obviously, he didn't take it. But anyway, onto the bridge scene. Or onto the scene where she was trying to kill the people to fall off. It really did show... I mean, even though he seems like he's been made for us to hate, it was actually good to see Walker put into a position where he did do the moral thing. He took the moral high road, like... He didn't go after Kylie, and he decided to save people. It was good for him to start... I mean, I know I've hated him, I probably still do now. But for him to have a moment like that at least once to show, okay, this man does have a level of moral responsibility. Do you know what I mean? Even though technically that's what he should do because he's a soldier, he's helped people. But we all know how things have gone since he took the super soldier serum. Do you know what I mean? So for them to have that in, I thought was a very good idea. Obviously, we know that he couldn't do it by himself. He got attacked again by the Flag Smashers, and then obviously Cap, aka Sam Wilson Falcon, comes and saves the day. And this is where the two other Red Wings come in. When he pushed the fan back up, so he had the support of his Red Wings. This would obviously prove to be the end. I think it was the ending of this fight scene anyway. Was it? No. Before I even get to the speech, I remember this is the time where we eventually, and I'm glad they've kind of been what do I say? I'm glad they revealed now the power broker. As we know, in a lot of these shows happened in WandaVision, there was all of these wild theories about who's gonna do this, who was this. None of that happened for WandaVision, but for this they finally really did give us a theory, or confirm the theory which had been floating around. The theory in question that happened was, obviously it was confirmed that Sharon Carter was the power broker all along. Something that I believe there were hints of, but I feel there was a sense of people not really wanting to believe that she could be the power broker. Or simply because of probably maybe what she had gone through before. Maybe that she was still good helping out Sam and Bucky. Even though the hints were there, I believe no one really wanted to believe that was the case. Sorry, hold on. There we go. And yeah, it just seemed to be the case. She was even in that scene with Kylie, obviously there seemed to be a bit of disappointment. She tried to get back in the side. And then she even kills, what's his name? I'm not sure that's how I wanted him to go out, but I'm not surprised she did. And to be fair, I feel like he should have known better if he knew that she was the power broker. And I'm talking about Bartrock the Leaper. You know, he tried to demand 4 times extra than what she was willing to pay. But yeah, she said they don't deal with blackmail, and she shot him, and then Kylie shot her in the chest, obviously in the stomach, but obviously not enough to kill her. It was after this point where she now had a throwdown with Sam, who came in, who had refused to fight her. There's something about this dynamic I really enjoyed over the course of these couple of episodes between Sam and Kylie. You had obviously the Kylie believing what she was doing was correct, But her morals, what she was doing it for, was actually correct, because I could understand her point of view, but the way she was going about it was wrong, as did Sam believe. Sam fully understood what she was coming from, but really refused to fight. I believe he believes if he ends up just fighting her, he's just playing into her cause. And I do believe, if you think about it that way, he's kind of right. So he always just wanted to take like the Steve approach, and to be fair, this is kind of what has really made him Captain America. He wanted to talk about, she tried to get him to fight. She tried to get him to fight, and he was refusing under any circumstances. Yes, he would defend himself to, not suffer any fatal injuries, but he refused to fight. I mean, you can see it in her face. There was just something even about her face, her expression. Something about her really made me feel like she didn't even really want to be fighting Sam. It's just that her cause for what she's doing is forcing her to do it. I mean, even when she gets fatally wounded by Sharon, you got her little payback. That little scene there, I don't know how many people took notice. It was quite interesting for me to see, like, her response to Sam. I think she even apologized and so on. It was just, I know she did what was wrong, but it kind of did make me really feel for her. She did believe Sam beforehand. She wanted to believe him that he had the cause. She even apologized to him right there and then, and you can see he wasn't happy to see her get killed, because he was so sure that at some point she would come around. Now we will never know that for sure because of what's happened, but this is just kind of what I feel, and I really enjoyed, I don't know her real name, but Carly, is it Morgenthal's part in all this. I really enjoy her interaction with Falcon, and I'm hoping everybody else does. There's just something about it, I mean, you're looking at her, she just didn't seem like she for me, she's kind of a sympathetic villain. Although it's hard, I know people will say it's hard to find sympathetic because technically she was a terrorist, but it's just her cause. Her cause is what kind of makes her should give her some sympathy points, in my opinion. And to move on to my next point, which this leads on to, is about, Sam's inspirational speech. Now, for me, that scene in particular has got to be one of the most powerful, that's the word I'll use, the most powerful scene in MCU history, and I'm gonna say it, I feel it is. His scene to the senator and the other governments who were there, telling them what made them wrong. Why necessarily what she was doing, while it was wrong, she was in terms right, and he used the way in which governments operate to kind of help them understand the perspective of the flag smashers. He was not wrong. The fact that he kind of used Thanos as an example by saying they were insane gods, that would be someone like Thanos, or a child like her, to eradicate half the universe, kind of just showed you this. And the way the government deal with humanity, like they were saying about they could just end world hunger and so on like this, and what would happen to those people if they keep running it like this, it would be the same thing as if Thanos just snapped and eradicated half the people like that. So he was not wrong. And the good thing about this scene was that it was shown all over the world. You saw that he was coming from the heart. We dealt with real racism. He was talking about racism, the oppressed, the suppressors. Even as a black man, people don't want to accept him as Captain America. People are going to have to get used to it. He is Captain America. Stuff like this, in my opinion, it's almost like he's taking shots at what's happening in the real world. There's a couple of people in the real world who obviously have that kind of naive mindset about, we don't want a black Captain America, and so on and so on. But it's not about the colour, it's not about that. No, it's about what an individual represents, who they are as a person, what they can do to help, and how they're supporting other people. This is the point I feel that he was trying to get across, and it's good that he did it on live television. Maybe this will make a difference for them going forward. I just felt this scene was incredibly powerful, simply because it really brought in the real world looks of things. You look at how Bucky was watching that interview. You look at how Sharon was looking at it. You look at how John Walker was looking at it. You look at how Isaiah on the TV and his sister was looking at it. So you're also seeing it from the black people's perspectives when they're showing them and what they feel about him representing Cap. You saw it with the other two guys earlier on, where he was saying that's Black Falcon. They say nah, that's Captain America. Do you know what I mean? This is what I feel. The way he went about that monologue was outstanding, and I do have to give massive credit to the writers of the show to have written it like this, and it shows that they have a real understanding of the problems that's faced in the real world, and they've just followed through in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. So big up to Anthony Mackie. He obviously acted his heart out. He's actively taking it like stuff that's happening in the real world, I feel, as well, and really put it into his acting there. And so for me, that's why I said, guys, please let me know what you feel. But I feel that's probably the most powerful aspect of the most powerful, what am I saying? One of the most powerful monologues in MCU history. So let me know what you guys think anyway. Moving on from that, okay, I talked about the power broker, innit, Sharon. I still find that quite... What do you guys think about that anyway, Sharon being the power broker anyway, quickly, because I just found... Don't know, man. Whether I'm happy with that, I don't know, but it's not surprising when you understand her logic or the reasons for her, especially during the 5 years time skip. She was obviously on the run and so on and so forth. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time because I think I just realised I spoke about it like 5 minutes ago. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about that, because that's obviously one of the biggest issues that was going on like prior to the finale. As it went on, we noticed more about Walker. What does that sound? Walker became the US agent officially. I can't remember the woman's name, but yeah, it was good to see how they introduced him as the US agent with now the actual colour scheme of his costume, and that's good because I just wanted him away from. I really wanted him away from the Captain America persona. Obviously, we saw that we just need that. He wasn't right for it. Whilst technically he did kind of, in some ways, redeem himself with saving those people, but nah. It will be interesting to see where they go with this anyway, because my theory is that he'll be part of the new villainous group. Which one that is, I don't know. They also showed what's his name in jail after they got blown up. Baron Zemo. Only just a short part, but it looks like his butler was the one who set up those other power brokers to be killed, and they're the other super soldiers. So this is still partly part of Zemo's plan. Like I said, going back to the group, I don't know what group it is. Please, guys, let me know if you remember. Is it the Thunderbolts or Masters of Evil? I have a feeling that one of these groups are coming. As we know, Zemo was in the raft where the Dora Milaje took him in the last episode. But I also believe that the Abomination is somewhere around. I would love to know where they're keeping him, because he's obviously due to come back. So, as we know, there's a couple of villains out there. I do believe the US agent is working under... Yes, I think he'll be more of an anti-hero / villain rather than just a right-out villain. Anyway, he's going to be doing some good things, but those good things will be for the benefit of this woman's plans anyway. And that's just what I feel about that. Anyway, but we just have to see what goes on with that. So his also character seems to be very interesting. So it's good to see that they've now gone down this US agent route. Finally, I'd like to talk about some of the closures. Some of the best closures. I mean, Isaiah, I didn't really like him in that first episode, but I can understand why. He was very aggressive. We were given a much more detailed information about his past, what happened to the super soldier, especially as one of the first black soldiers to get it and survive. Not just that, survive it. He did what Rogers had done, but he got persecuted for it. Yet Steve Rogers was hailed as a hero. So again, we're seeing more of the racial bias that's occurred, and that's what brought up. So that was definitely quite interesting. But yeah, the closure there was that basically Bucky or Sam managed to acknowledge his history. He showed him to the museum, and he was absolutely gobsmacked to see to see they had a statue of him, had the whole background, and showed everyone what he did for that service. And I do believe that's the kind of closure that he needed, because it now shows that it's like he's able to come out in the world again. He will not be prosecuted for anything, or he won't be prosecuted for anything. Everyone knows what he did, so he's got his history back. And we saw the giant hunk, and that really did mean a lot, not even just for him, but just in for black people in general. You know, you see what happens with black people and history. I'm not even gonna go too much into that, but we kind of know that black people's history just gets manipulated to suit the ideologies and to suit the agendas of the governments, and that's it. But essentially he got his closure. Finally, the Bucky one was very interesting. As we know, in the last episode, Sam told him that he should give closure to the people, you know, that Bucky's been trying to support. Obviously, he was more avenging rather than amending the problem that he's been going through. And it was heartbreaking to see. I wasn't actually looking forward to it. The conversation with I forgot his Asian friend's name, but I wasn't looking forward to that because I knew how uncomfortable it was going to be, and it did seem quite uncomfortable. But it was good to see him get it done, and I just feel by doing that it takes a lot of the pressure off him. It gives him a better peace of mind. Obviously, it's hard to it's hard to have like 100% peace of mind when you know you are the cause of somebody else's pain. But to be able to come out, admit it, give that person a sense of closure is what should give you that sense of closure. I mean, the way it ended, can't complain. It's good to see everyone in a having a happy, good time. I just thought I love those little kind of montages, so that they're having a good time. Bucky getting into it, Sam getting into it. Great ending. I mean, the only thing that got me now after this is the end credit scene. The end credit scene was wild. We knew she was the power broker. She'd got reinstated back into the US, so she'd got pardoned. Only now for her to now start already making plans with whoever she is to start taking over. Sharon. However, what I will say, I don't know what you guys think or have realized or remember, is that there's a what's it called? Not Secret Wars. Is it Secret Wars? I think it's Secret Wars program coming up. And as we know, the Skrulls... No, Secret Invasion. As we know, the Skrulls are a major part of that, infiltrating governments and so on to take over. For me, this is only the beginning. And I do believe that this is the case. This show, along with probably Hawkeye, and I think Armor Wars, and I think even the Kamala Khan one, these are the ones that are really going to go together with the Secret Invasion. And could Sharon be a possible what do you call it? Possible Skrull? Just like Nick Fury was in Spider-Man Far From Home. It's a distinct possibility. And I can only see like there being more conflicts and so on going forward. And it's going to really test Sam as Captain America, in my opinion. I would like to also add on, there's been news today that apparently that already Captain America 4 is in the works. I'm not surprised, and I do believe it should happen, especially with Cap's. Like, there's no way they're not going to have a movie with the new Falcon, with new Captain America being Sam Wilson, and also with Bucky. I cannot wait for that, and it seems to be all but confirmed. Nothing official, but the way it seems like there's no way it cannot happen. But once again, this show was amazing. I do believe, my personal belief is that it does top WandaVision. It does top WandaVision as great as that was. One final question I forgot to ask. Like halfway during the video during Sam's speech. Sorry to cut way back, but just before I go, I found it weird that I've seen a lot of other reactions and stuff to Falcon, Bucky, and Bucky, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I've noticed how awkward it is when no one really likes to talk about the racism issue, isn't it? You know, when he's talking about the black people being oppressed by the suppressors. I've noticed a lot of people don't really like to talk about it or go deep into it, especially when they mention the word black and so on. I don't know. I just find it so strange, and I'm just seeing how awkward it must be for those people who don't really want to talk about it. But I just thought I'd mention it. I don't know what you guys think. I'm not saying you have to talk about it. I just find it weird, and I just find it funny because it is a real life situation, isn't it? It's a real life thing. But yeah. But yeah, guys, listen, this is just my views on this. That's my mum there as well. This is just my views on Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which would now be called Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But this is just my views, guys. Please let me know what you think. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. If you don't mind, give me a like and subscribe. I will be trying to follow up on a lot of these videos a lot more often. But yeah, this was one that definitely had to be done, and I'm hoping you guys really enjoyed the show as well. But yeah, if you don't mind, come in the comments, we can discuss it as well, yeah? But yeah, guys, listen, take it easy, and I'll see you at the next video.